Alright, so we've got another day at the office flying on the Growling Sidewinder server. I'm getting ready to take off, and my wingman, Hank Lowe, who has been on the server for I think the last month or so and has been racking up kills like crazy, is eager to go as well. We're both going to shortcut and get into the air as quick as possible because we have a big flight of enemy bandits coming in at us, and thanks to the AWACS, which is still in the air, we know they're not too far away. So we've got a couple of high altitude bogeys coming in from the west. So shortcut here, don't do that if there's traffic on the runway or on the sidelines, but yeah, get in the air quick and off we go. We know that we've got about 3 or 4 bogeys coming in from the west. They are fairly high up. I'm checking my AWACS right now, trying to figure out where they are and how high up they are. Most important thing, of course, is don't forget to bring your gear up. I've flown once with my gear down for quite some time, and I look like quite the fool, but thank goodness we've got good colleagues flying with us telling you that, yeah, bring up your gear, buddy. So Hank is staying close. We're going to stick together and see what we can do. What we've got is we've got a flight of 2 F15s coming in. They're already launching sidewinders at our aircraft that are taking off from Tbilisi, and we are staying just above the city, trying to get into the hills. The F15s, I think, are about 30-40 miles out. They're not too far away. They are fairly high up. And the server just rebooted, so we've got almost no lag. Growling Sidewinder is definitely the place to go if you want to do some aerial combat. It's a fantastic server. Really happy to be part of that experience and to fly with awesome pilots. And if you're ever on the server and you are getting shot at and get frustrated, don't worry about it. My first 3 months flying online multiplayer, I was just getting demolished until I learned the SU27. In this particular fight, we're going to have, I think we're going to get a total of 5 kills. Hank is going to get shot down. That's, yeah, spoiler alert. But we are making our way here, and but Hank will still get a kill. He'll get a trade. So we've got an AIM-120 coming in right towards us. Hank went up a little high. He got picked up. The AIM-120 is coming down pretty quick. We're going to use the terrain to get out of the way. There's one missile coming right down towards us and popping flares and banking. I wasn't sure if this was a AIM-120 or an AIM-9 because those jets were pretty close, but Hank survives, I survive, we've dropped our chaff and flares, and we are pulling away. Now, the 2 F-15s are definitely a couple of friends. Oh, and there's the other AIM-120. Takes out one of our comrades who just took off from Tbilisi. So we're splitting up, and we are engaging one of the 2 bandits. Globemaster, I believe. There's his drop tank. He's dropped it from high altitude, and he dove for the deck, trying to get into the weeds. Hank is tracking and firing a heat-seeking long-range missile. I'm tracking him, and I'm going to fire off my radar-guided missiles. This way we've got a better chance. I waited for a little bit longer to launch, and then I launched 2 of them. Quick sequence salvo, off they go. Hank's, unfortunately, is a miss, but that's okay. Off goes mine and takes out the F-15. The F-15 did launch an AIM-120. I believe he locked on to our AWACS, but that AIM-120 is not going to make it to the target. The important thing is we've taken out the aggressor. Our base is safe, and we are on our way to the west to check out what's happening near the shore and cause some trouble that way. Looking around, making sure. I'm trying to spot the other F-15, but he has gone off the radar. At this point, I assume that he got shot down, and we're on our way to the west. We're on our way, staying really low. I mean, we're staying at about 300 meters off the ground. That's about 100 million feet for those of you who are in the United States. And we're making our way to the west, really sticking to the canyons. I'm flying an SU27, conserving fuel. As you can see, I'm dropping my RPMs all the way down to like 80%, and this is to ensure that I've got fuel for any afterburner engagements, which I will definitely need. So always managing my fuel. You got to keep an eye on your afterburner all the time. Don't leave it running. It will eat up your fuel. The SU27 is a fantastic plane, and I've spotted a bogey, so I've communicated to Hank that we are going to go for the bogey that's up ahead. Looks like there's two of them. I use chat if I can. I use SRS or Discord. It helps you control the environment and communicate with your wingman. But in this particular case, Hank was not on SRS, so I am using chat. Very difficult if you're in VR, because you have to lift up the helmet and type real quick before you hit the ground. Especially in this scenario, I'm trying to go as low as possible to keep myself off of the radars of the AWACSs. But one thing to keep in mind is that they can still burn through, and the closer you get, the better signal they'll have on you, so the enemy aircraft will know that you are coming even if you're low. Hiding in the valleys definitely helps out. I'm visually constantly checking just in case someone is trying to do the same thing, and I've spotted a bogey that is approaching us from about 3 o'clock, but we are going to disregard him because we've picked up an enemy at our 12 o'clock, just due west of us, and that's Fonz. You can see him on the TAC View. We're flying about the same speed. I'm a little bit lower than Hank, and Hank is going to engage Fonz first as we're coming up towards the lake. I'm using the ridge to stay off the radar, but as a wingman, my idea here was for Hank to get this kill. I felt bad that I got the kill on the previous one, but I wanted Hank to get the kill, so I was going to be the supporting aggressor, if you were going to call that. I was going to light up the enemy airplane, which is an F18 that's coming towards us. But unfortunately, Hank got there first, got his radar lock on him, and he fired off an ER missile, and the F-18 fired back an AIM-120. Actually, no, he didn't fire an ER, he fired a R-27TE, which is a thermal guided missile using an IR heat seeker. It's correcting, but the F-18 goes near supersonic, whereas Hank does some clever dodging. Hank has already re-engaged, and his R-27ET was tracking until it hit the mountain. Hank is in a really good position, but he's not speeding up. I should have given some gas here, but no can do, and I am tracking the enemy on my radar. He is a little circle there, if you see on my screen, and as I'm watching him, he goes behind the hill. I'm not sure if Hank has visual on him or if he's tracking him, so I'm like, okay, I'm over a lake. There's no chance of me crashing. Real quick, take off the helmet and let Hank know that he's probably gone behind that hill, so I've typed that in there. At the same time as I did that, Hank is already real close to him. Hank's going supersonic. The F-18 lost a bit of speed coming around, and they both fire another round of missiles at each other. I think this time they are going with... I'm not sure what Hank fired, but Hank got hit by an AIM-120, and he did take out Fonz with his air-to-air missile. At this point, I haven't realized what happened yet, so I am trying to beeline, come around, and see if I can support Hank. Unfortunately, by this point, Hank is already gone. And he's, I don't know if he ejected, but I'm just coming around to take a look at what's going on. I see nothing in the air. I see no targets on the AWACS screen. That doesn't mean that the enemy airplane is gone, but it could also mean that perhaps he's doing some ducking and covering. So I'm doing some creative flying here, trying to figure out what's going on, looking for Hank, looking for that F-18. Didn't know it was an F-18 at the time, because on the Russian planes, it doesn't tell you what plane you're flying up against, unlike the F-15s or the F-16s. So I'm trying to make a bank here, constantly scanning the air just in case there is another aircraft in the air in VR. So pardon my jitteriness, and as I come around, I also saw in the chat that there was a couple of planes down, and one of them was Hank, and there is the smoke. Look how close these two planes are. They were pretty much into each other's face when they took each other out. So I'm coming in for a bank. That is the crater left from the F-18 from Fonz. Good battle. Still burning. And right next to him, this is probably what? 500-600 meters, is Hank's aircraft. Looks like he's split up into two parts. When he got hit, I'm flying by, checking for my wingman, seeing if there is a shoot, seeing if there is any survivors, as you got to do that with your wingman. And on my way, I realize he's already probably reloading. I accelerate and drop some flares for him. RIP. Get them in the next round. Now, at this point, I've realized that I am very much by myself. There's nobody around me. My cheat on the server, and yes, this is actually a cheat, is I am always looking at the tactical map, which you can access by pressing F10. I've got that bound to a shortcut on my keyboard so I can get to it quickly. And what that allows me to do is it allows me to quickly see if there's any allied planes. The reason is, if you're flying a Russian plane, or if you're flying on the red side, you're going to get a lot of Russian planes which don't have as strong radars and which will rely on thermal optics, OLS capabilities, and those will stay low. Now, the reason they'll stay low is because as soon as they go up, an F15 or an F16 is going to take them out real quick with an AMRAAM. So I can see on the radar, thanks to AWACS, that I've got an ally behind me at my 5 o'clock, and I've got a bogey, what looks like a bogey, at 12 o'clock. Now, there's a weird thing that happens with AWACS is that sometimes if you're not running with your radar active, you will see the enemy aircraft and you're thinking it's an enemy, and off you go and you launch a heat-seeking missile at them, and they'll turn out to be an ally. So here, as you can see, there's actually quite a few planes in the air. The Global AV and Global Online are taking off from, I think that they're taking off from, is it Kutaisi? And they're heading out to the east, and I'm beelining north towards them. They are on my radar, and I can see something in the AWACS zone, but I'm still uncertain. That's why I'm flipping back and forth into the F10 map real quick just to see who's around me. So you'll see me do that sometimes. Gives you a really good idea because the F10 map will actually show you your allied planes even if they're in the canyons, whereas your AWACS may not see them. Sticking really low to the deck. I mean, I want to stay off of the enemy AWACS as long as possible. I've got an F16 ally ROT Supreme Leader with me, and we've got Wyvern 17 at my 12 o'clock almost. So we've got possibly a merge that's happening. The Globe Masters, Global Online guys are firing their AIM 120s. They are fairly high up. I think they were at around 6,000-7,000. And I'm checking bogey dope all the time. So bogey dope, map, radar, bogey dope, map, radar. Gotta know what's going on and be fully aware. This is your way to succeed here. As you can see, what's happening in Tacview, I had no visibility of that. I can't see the missiles that are flying in each direction. I can't see Flakinator fire off those missiles and start diving. Also, I can't see the J11 Wyvern Y17 that is at my 12 o'clock, who's ascending right now and trying to take out Global AV. He's taking off, and at this point, I'm thinking, should I lock him up? And I realize in a few seconds here that I do not want to lock him up because that is an allied flight. And that's because I'll turn on my radar and I'll actually see that it is an allied plane, at which point I will break off. Because right now I'm actually tracking an allied plane. And once I turn on my radar, I realize, okay, that's an ally. He can deal with it. And yeah, there's the map check. But sticking real close to the deck without radar on, you've got to keep checking the map continuously so that you're not killing your own flights. And of course, I'm checking the chat to see if anyone got shot down that I know. Or if any of the reds got shot down, or if any of the blues got shot down. Global AV is going high. Wyvern 17 is on him. I don't want to turn on my radar because I don't want to reveal myself, because the RWR on the F15s, F16s, F18s on the blue side will tell them that I'm there. So I am really trying to conserve my radar. I only use it if I have to. Very often I'll get a lock with my OLS using the thermal sensor, and only then will I fire. So at this point I'm coming in and I realize that this is an allied plane and that he is chasing an enemy F15, so I break off and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go for greener pastures. You guys got this. There's two of you. There's one of him there. There's additional flights coming in from the east to assist you guys. I'm going to go hunting in the bushes here. Really close to the blue base. Checking the map, making sure there's nobody ahead of me. No one's in front of me. This means this is open season for Plasma to go on a hunting spree. And I'm sticking in this canyon. Now, if you check the RWR on my plane that's in the bottom right-hand corner, the lights have turned off. That's because the AWACS and the enemy aircraft that are approaching me from the east have lost me. I'm in the canyon, so staying low. Breaking off, and Fonz is taking off. He's picking up some altitude. He's flying an F18. I don't know that. All I know is that there is a bogey, and I am trying to lock him up. He's getting real close. I'm doing only thermal scanning, so I'm using my OLS.
Well, it looks like he's
seen me. OLS? I keep using that term to try to pick him up, because I want to get a thermal lock. I do not want to reveal my position on his RWR. I'm in the weeds. He's engaged me, as you can check on Tacview. He has turned towards me, and I see this also reflected on the AWACS screen on my radar. Now, right now, if I were to request bogey dope, I would not get any information back from my AWACS because I'm invisible to the AWACS. But the Fonz is coming in. I also see the second airplane coming in. So here, this is kind of a decision point. What do I do? I'm thinking I'm going to stick in the canyons and get even closer. What I need to do is I need to do a quick pop-up, take out the closest bogey. That's the F18 with Fonz. He's staying a little bit high. I'm not getting any help from AWACS right now. I'm basically relying on the data link from the allied AWACS, and as you can see, Fonz was definitely high in the air there. So I make a sharp turn here. He's close enough for air-to-air kill. I'm thinking of using my R73. That's the Russian version of the Sidewinder. I pick him up really quick, lock him up, and I go in for the kill. What I want to do is I do want to get close enough that there is no chance that Fonz can dodge me. Fonz has no idea, and at about this point, he realizes that I'm there, tries to turn into me, but no joy. He is hit by the R73.
Get the hell out of here.
Right now, I am getting lit up hard from my 6 o'clock because the F15 has picked me up. I came out of the bushes. He's harsh, got me locked, and he is getting ready to fire. I'm dumping chaff, turning around and diving back towards the deck. I want to get back in the weeds and hide my face as quick as possible. Now, if you check Tacview, there's two AIM-120s that have fired from the F15. That's low bore G. Okay, yeah. So he's got two AIM-120s. My RWR is screaming, telling me that there's missiles inbound. I am dumping chaff, and I'm relying on the terrain to save me. I know he's probably high, which means the missiles will hit the hills if I stick as close to the ground as I can.
And he knows where I am.
Making a really sharp pass here. Now, Lowbore G has no idea where I am. He's lost me on radar. I haven't turned on my radar as of yet.
He's going.
So he doesn't have me on RWR. And I'm doing a really sharp bank. Looking at my AWACS information, I can tell Lowbore G is pretty close. So I start scanning and trying to lock him up. Doing my vertical scan. I'm only using thermal at this point. I haven't turned on my radar, because first I want to get a solution with my R73 again. I get a lock, but that is a plane on the other side of the map. Somehow I picked him up. That's not the right plane, and I managed to get Lowbore G there. One R73, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's an R73 on its way. He realizes what happens, and he is gone. Very sneaky, but as soon as I fired, I gotta go hide because Global Online is coming back for revenge. He's already fired up an AIM-120. I have no idea where that AIM-120 is going, but I know he's on my 6 o'clock. And it's not a really pretty sight. He is coming after me. I wonder where that AIM-120 is going, so we'll see on TACnet where he's going. 12 nautical miles, I'm in a perfect position to get killed. I drop into a valley, and then I do pretty much a 180 in the valley. He still thinks I'm flying away from him. If I broke contact with his radar, he'll still think I'm trying to go somewhere or I'm maybe crashed. And I think that's exactly what happened. As I make my 120 and almost a 270 to try to reacquire him, Global Online is making his way east towards the red area. He's after Hank Low, and I am trying not to get killed here. Now, I've got lock on him, and I am switching to my ERs. Or maybe that was an ET. No, that was an ET. So an R27 ET is a heat seeker with an extended range. It's like a Sidewinder with a bit more legs to it. So they're both fired. Now, Global Online made a pretty good decision. What he's doing is he's going into a dive, and I realize that, so I'm tracking him. I lose him for a second. I should have fired again here. And there goes another missile towards Global Online. Now I'm in a really bad spot because I'm trying to take him out, but he fires off an AIM 120. I fire a fourth missile at him just to be safe, but I got no chance.
Ah, it was a good effort.
So there you have it, SU27. I think I got 4 kills there. Hank Low got 1 kill. Unfortunately, I lost my wingman early on, but Hank Low came back and got some revenge. And I hope this was interesting and you enjoyed my flying and some explanation of some tactics that I've learned. I'm no expert, but subscribe and like this video. Let me know what you think.